Hello and welcome. Today, our beauty stories will be in English because I'm super happy to see Miriam here. My name is Mai, and today we will fill this 1 hour with beauty talks, with clean product talks, and health talks, of course. Hello, Miriam.
Yes. Hi, really happy to be here. Hello, everyone.
I'm super happy to have you here. But before we go into these deep conversations, right, I would
hmm
like to go to your childhood a bit and see how did little Miriam look like? What were your dreams? Are you at this point in your life that you thought you will be, or has this road been different?
Oh, there's like a lot of questions in that one question. How did I look like, and then how did I what my dreams were, right? So, um, I when I was a kid, up until I kid you not high school, but end of elementary school, I wanted to be a fighter pilot. And I even planned to go to school for pilots. This is very true from where I am today, and and one of the reasons was because they actually didn't allow girls to join the school, which I
Wow.
was, yeah. I think now they do, but back then they didn't. So maybe it was a good thing because I love flying, but I'm not so good with like turbulences and stuff when that happens. But
But
it's exciting.
but what do you do now? I know it's totally different, but what is it actually that you do on daily basis?
Yes, so very, very different. I'm in the health and wellness space, and I basically run two different projects, or three, I would say. One is one we started with my partner Andri, and that's Homesome, and that's our main focus right now. And we're building a company that basically shows people how to live low toxin or toxin free. Oh, well, low toxic because there's no such a thing as a toxin completely toxin free lifestyle, and helping them clean up their environments to get healthier. And the idea of this project came a couple of well, I would say not years, but like a year and a half ago, when we were living in Portugal. And because both of us are in the health and wellness space, I'm a certified holistic nutritionist, and Andri is an independent researcher. He wrote a book on fasting, so he's very much into the health. And we lived in Portugal, and we had massive mold problems in the house, which is very common in Portugal, for houses to have mold. And we started to have, especially Andri, started to show some signs that something is really wrong, and we didn't know what was happening. And until we found out that we actually had mold in the house, so we ran out of the house very fast. And but before that, we had to do like a lot of research. And it's like, okay, we have mold, what do we do? Do we just like, do we leave, do we pack our stuff, do we throw away our stuff? Then it's like, where do we get like an air purifier, what do we do? And the research that was involved in this was so time consuming, and there's so much of like misleading information on the internet, and variety of information that you just don't know where to look and what to believe, what to apply, that we decided to fix that and to fill in that gap, and created Homesome for us to have that space to share the information, the knowledge that we already have, and that we are still learning along the way. Because there is a lot of things change every single day. The things that have been truth for in the medicine or in nutrition 20 years ago are not true today anymore. But they were the best at that time, and I'm sure that they always help like a lot of people. So it's the same with the environment and with in relation to your health. So That's what we do. That's what I do every single day. I create content. We want to share the content with as many people as possible. And I mentioned that it's like there's like a lot the other things that I do. I also work with women and helping them to mostly balance their hormones and just regain um, the strength and the control over their health, basically optimize their health, I would say.
But what is like, let's say, in November, the
Mhm.
biggest surprise or change in the environment that should be recognized by everyone?
So it's the definitely the air quality, especially in Estonia. We just looked at our humidity meter in a morning in the house was 30%, and that is actually dangerously low. So you would need to start using humidifiers if you're living in a house that has dry air, or even the air outside is very dry, right? So humidifiers are a good solution. However, you have to be very careful that after being stored for a year, or if it's not a new humidifier, that there is actually not mold inside. And even when you're using it, you have to be constantly maintaining it and making sure that it's clean and then there is no mold. And then the other thing that happens, and this is also has to do with dry air, is our skin, right? So the skin actually like gets very dry, and the products that are usually out on the market, they are not only full of toxins, but at the same time they're water based. And in winter times, when it gets cold outside, we shouldn't be using water based products because the little water particles actually freeze on our skin, and they break the skin, and they scratch the skin, they break the skin, which makes it easier for the toxins to be absorbed into the skin even. So those are the two main things I think in that happen in November that I've noticed so far. And it's end of
That
the
is
month.
amazing that you brought out the skin as well, because now everybody can listen. It's not only me who says don't use water-based products,
Yeah.
but it's also you. So there must be something more. Look into that for sure.
Yeah. Definitely. And, it's not just about like the water, but the toxins in the products. I love talking about this. We don't realize that our skin is the biggest organ and it's very absorbent. So anything that we put on our skin gets absorbed into our bloodstream, and it can stay there for a very long time. So you have to be really smart about what products you choose to put on your body
But
in that
this
sense.
now keeps me thinking, nobody borns into this life with all this knowledge, right? So what was your trigger? Why you decided to look deeper into the skincare products or household products, actually to change them and see what is more natural? What was this turning point?
So, well, definitely like learning more and building the platform was when the mold situation in Portugal happened. But I've been in the health and wellness industry for a good 12 years now, I would say. And you see when I see clients and they come to me, and I'm not the only one who says this, but people like Mark Hyman would tell you the same thing. Um, that like a well-known doctor, that if you have a client or patient who does everything right on a paper, they eat well, they sleep well, they exercise, they have hobbies, they have healthy relationships, they take supplements that they are supposed to be taking, or like targeted supplements, and yet they're still sick, and they just can't figure out why. And it's the environmental toxins that are actually making us sicker than ever before. So just if you think about it, like I'm sure you've seen these memes and stuff on Instagram where they put a picture of how people looked in the 1970s and how they were all slim, and how do people look now. And it's like, it's not just because people are overeating, it's because toxins love fat. Toxins are stored in the fat tissues. So I mean, not only there, but they are primarily stored in the fat tissues. So when the toxins are there, you're not able to lose the weight. And how do the toxins get to our body? It's through food, obviously. So best to choose like organic foods, and make sure that you're eating, like, especially when it comes to animal products, clean animal products. But most of the toxins are actually coming from the environment. And that's when I started to see, even with my clients, when when I take somebody on, we go through everything. I mean, we look at, yes, your medical history and your the way that you eat and stuff, but I actually, if I'm lucky enough that the person is in the same city, I actually go into their bathroom and we go through the products of like what could be causing them their issues. And the very easy way to understand how dangerous this is, or how this actually happens, is that we all have liver, and hopefully and a well functioning liver, and our liver and our body itself is a self cleansing mechanism, right? So it can actually cleanse itself. It has the ability. But what is happening today is that we are exposed to supernatural levels of toxins, and the bodies just cannot keep up. So the more that we put onto our skin and onto, into our bodies itself, um, the body just cannot detoxify everything, and it starts storing things. And that's when we see, sluggish liver. That's when we see like fatigue. um, we see like the fertility rates are tanking, and it's like, why is that? It's because of the environmental toxins. It's because of the products that we are using. We see, people like the rise of depression, and it's all linked to, not only, but in a vast amount, due to toxic environments that we are living in. That was a very long answer to your simple question, I think.
That was really good answer.
I hope I didn't go too off tangent, but
No, I think environment that in general is a topic that is not really focused.
yeah.
Yes, we do have like diets for food issues. We have skin diets, meaning we don't wear makeup for a week, etc. But nobody really focuses on environment, like your
Hmm.
daily things that surround you.
Yeah. And the one reason why it's also important is because, like, yes, you can go on a detox, but if you keep on putting toxins onto your body, you can go on a juice cleanse all you want. But if you keep on putting toxic products on your body, if you keep on using toxic cleaning products in your home and polluting your air, and this is like one of the biggest ironies of the cleaning product industry, that they're actually making your home dirty. They're making the air dirty. So you have to be very careful of like what you're actually using.
One part is cleaning products, but another
Yeah.
is perfumes, right?
Oh,
Everybody loves these smells, and then they have like different bottles at home. But I think this is even more
yeah.
bad because you use it
Yep.
every day.
Yes, don't even get me started on that. So I can talk about perfumes for like how long do we have? But basically the perfume, the term perfume or fragrance, that's why when you look at a perfume bottle, you only have like few ingredients, is there, right? Like few, like nothing much. It's not like a long list or anything. And it says perfume, fragrance, aroma, or anything like that. It's an umbrella term for something over 4,000 different chemicals. So, and I'm not only talking about the perfume that you spray on yourself, it's the perfume in your laundry detergent, the perfume in window cleaner, perfume in a floor cleaner, in your shampoo, in like perfumes are literally, added to everything. So imagine that you have that list of ingredients on your shampoo bottle, and you have the little word perfume there. You can add another 4,000 ingredients under that. So that's really, really not pretty, right? And what happens with perfumes is that they stick to your skin, right? So right now I'm talking about the perfume that you would use to spray on yourself. The way that they are made is to stick on your skin. And for that, there is a chemical called phthalates that they use, and this is used in production of plastics to make the plastic more bendable. I think that's the word. So that the plastic actually like bends easily. But they're also used in the perfumes to stick on your skin. So imagine if you want to like be putting something like that, on yourself. And I have a funny story if I can share, like also like
Mhm.
living in Portugal. This is like we love sharing this with Andre as well, because there's really nothing like more unpleasant than having to like be in someone else's perfume. I just like I don't understand it, and some people are really overusing it. And we lived in Portugal, and we had a nice house by the beach, so we had a lot of friends staying with us, and we're very happy to host people. But after like one or two instances where our friends came over and they were using way too much perfume, like we couldn't like air the house for like good few hours, because it just lingers in the air, right? It just
Mhm.
stays there. And it becomes like kind of like awkward to tell people like after like 2-3 days that, hey, like, could you not use the perfume, like it's actually giving me a headache. um, we decided that whenever friends were coming over, we would say, great, you're very welcome, but we have one house rule: no perfumes and no aerosol sprays. And you know what, they just like laugh about it. It's like, yeah, sure, no problem. Nobody gets offended, because people are usually like, they would ask like, I was like, but what is it, like, people are going to think that I'm like cuckoo, and that they're going to get offended, I'm going to lose friends and stuff. No, people understand. People are more understanding than we think.
Yeah, especially this request is nothing big. It's
Yeah.
normal, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But how actually your house looks? Like, what is there that regular people don't have in their houses, maybe?
Let me take you on a tour. So we've got, okay. So this is my office. I'm not gonna show you like the entire house, but this, I wasn't prepared for a house tour, but this is my office, and you can see that I have a lot of plants, right? I love plants in my office. I also have a salt lamp over there, and some essential oils. Like, I don't use perfumes, but I love essential oils. So I have that. And something about plants, and that's, I'm going to take you to the next thing that we have, which is air purifier. So we get this question quite a lot, and that is, it's like, if I live somewhere which is like clean and not like somewhere near a forest or something like that, do I need an air purifier? And we always tell people yes, because unless you live in a house that you build out of wood yourself, there is no paint on the walls, there is no furniture that could off gas, and there is no like chemicals in your in inside the house, you do need an air purifier. And we have three, but one is at the office, so we have two. We have one for downstairs and one for here, and we just have like this little guy, and it just sits here, it's quiet, and it cleans the air. So that's one thing. And another thing that I highly recommend, uh, and I'm sorry, I've got food everywhere, but we also have a water water purifier, and
Mhm.
that's something that we like. This one we can carry with us anywhere, because it's just something that it's easily packable, and you can put it in the car whenever you need to. And the reason for water purifier, which is reverse osmosis one, so the jugs that you have like on your uh, I don't want to say the brand, but like the usual jugs that you just put on the table and you fill it out. Those are actually, the filters become like breeding grounds for bacteria. So they really don't do good. They even do more harm. But the reason why you want to get a water purifier is because the water that goes through the taps, and I know when I moved to Tallinn, everybody was telling me how pure the water here is. It's not. It's 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 really not, and I should know because like Andri has done, my partner has done his research, and he has looked into what chemicals can actually get into the water system, and the water is not being purified by the authorities enough, and there is actually a good reason for that because it's only 1% of the water that comes through your faucet, comes to your house, is used for drinking. The rest of it is goes into showers, laundry, toilets, gardens. What else was there on the list? I think those are like the main things. So imagine how not economical it is, or not feasible financially is for the authorities to be filtering their water at the point of like the disposal where the water is being distributed, right? So you have to take matter into your own hands and make sure that you are purifying any water that you're drinking or cooking with or showering with, if possible, at the point of use, so in your home. So those are the two main things that are not still not so common, but I think people are really getting used to and getting the information that why is this needed? Because like for example, I don't know about Estonia, but places like I know Prague in Czech Republic is very notorious for this. London, or in the UK and the US, the cities in the US, you can find residue from birth control, so anti birth control hormones in the water, in the tap water. So you're drinking that. You're drinking someone's hormones, that come out of your faucet. There is pesticides, herbicides, antibiotics, and even drugs. So I think this was the study that they did in Prague and in London, that there's actually like drug residues in drinking water, which is crazy if you think about it.
Yeah, and if you think about only these two cities, right, it doesn't mean that the rest of the world doesn't have the same case.
No, especially when it comes to hormones. And this is like really, it's crazy dangerous if you think about it, because we are consuming hormones, without consent, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So definitely.
This is really interesting. I would really want to go deeper, but maybe maybe we lead by example. So maybe you can share your regular day. I know that it's
Mhm.
really hard to like tell me one day, but let's say this week, one day, how did it look like? Like what do you do in the morning, or do you have like a lunch break or evening rituals?
Mhm. Okay, so I have to be very honest. I'm not going to be, painting a really pretty picture or anything. The last couple of weeks, while building home some, is that they've been pretty intense, and I have fallen off my meditation routine, which I have, I'm trying to sneak one in, like every, like few times a week. But to be honest, like I haven't been as persistent as I usually would be. It also got a little bit harder this week to wake up. I think it's because of the lack of light. That's starting to affect me, even though I'm like trying not to admit that. But usually, after waking up, I have a doggy, so We definitely go for a walk early within like the first hour and a half after waking up. But I also try to get some light into my eyes, like right after waking up, because it helps your circadian rhythm to actually wake up. And you can just like look outside of the window, you know, with the open window, because the glass actually makes it a little bit less effective. Even if it's dark, it still works for your circadian rhythm to actually wake you up. And the cold air helps as well, obviously. I would have breakfast like within an hour, and I need like a protein based breakfast that will start me off for the day, and then we go for a walk. Um, then usually it's work time, and then I I love working from home. I don't go to the office too often, even though we have a really nice office with a studio. But the thing is that when I'm at home, I get things done. So it's like I would just like I can't sit for too long on one place. So I would like go and do laundry, or like sweep the floor, or like cook something, or just like do little chores, or like load the dishwasher or something, um, to keep my mind actually stimulated and to be able to focus more on work when I get back to the computer. So little breaks work really well for me. So if I'm at the office and there's nowhere to go for 2 hours, I'll be like really restless on the chair. So I definitely need that movement, and I do go to the gym about 3 times a week, and then it's more walks with the doggy, often supermarket run, and I do I do have evening calls, which is not ideal, but then I don't feel so bad about like starting to work at lunchtime, because sometimes I have work calls, but they're not too late. They're like 8 p.m. the latest, I think. But I do have clients in the States, so I'm trying to make myself available for them as well when it's their reasonable time. And yeah, I do love to journal. And oh, I started this amazing program called I don't. The name is a little bit cheesy. It's it's to be magnetic, but it's actually a manifestation program, and they do a lot of uh, reprogramming. So they do a lot of like inner child work and shadow works and stuff like that. So I really love listening to those programs and going through them. So I don't really have like a routine that's the same every single day, and I guess that's the point of the routine. Um, but yeah, definitely just trying to keep things fun and easy.
That's really great. I actually love to ask this question because people often tend to go into like maximums. You know, when Robin Sharma had this book 5 a.m. Club, everybody joined in. Celery juice game, everybody joined in. Like people go to the max and then it doesn't actually suit. And something happens and then they still push, but it doesn't work for their body. So I
Mhm.
really love if real people actually tell the stories. No, I don't do it every day. I just like go to the gym 3 times a week, then I move with my dog, then I drink water, and it's normal. It's not like wake up at 5, then run 3 kilometers, then meditate half an hour, then read a book. Like, when do you work or do you actually have the time, right? It seems
Exactly.
like inhuman.
Mhm. But I have to say that I myself have been guilty of overdoing things, like that's how I actually switched from like general holistic nutrition to more women oriented health, because I saw I was doing all these crazy things like fasting for 18 hours every single day, going cold swimming, like I kid you not, 5 times a week in Noblessner, like in like minus 20. and still doing those things, and then working out like 5 times a week on an empty stomach, in a fasted state, with nothing more than coffee to fuel me up, bulletproof but still coffee, and then not eating for a couple of more hours. And I was just like being like started to feel like ran down and like really tired, and just like like it's not the exhaustion that you feel after one night out, is the constant feeling of your body being too tired to not to function, because I still was able to push myself, but even that, it's like it's added stress to your body. And then, but I was doing everything that my male peers were doing, like biohackers, like men biohackers, men who are in the health space, and they were doing these things and they were working really well for them. And I was like, why is it not doing the same thing for me? Why is it like destroying my health, rather than, making me better, stronger, whatever. And that's when I discovered that, the male physiology and women's bodies, they're two different things, and we have different hormones, we have different hormonal cycles, and we are also, we also not receive, but what's the word? We take the stress in on a different levels. So that's when I started looking into more of like women's health and seeing the real differences in it. And that's when I like stopped overdoing things. It's like, oh, I can't actually fast 18 hours a day. That's not good. Yeah.
I really love your mission statement, or the slogan that says women are not small men,
Mm.
which is really important to understand, because nowadays all the ladies basically want to be male, like run for some presidency, or be some CIO, or like really important the position in some company, then have a family, then be really good at all these areas. But it's not possible. Like you
Yeah,
can't have the all at the same time.
yeah. I don't think that there's necessarily like anything wrong with, women wanting to run for president, or like being a CEO and all that. But what we have to realize is that, we definitely have to make some choices and some sacrifice somewhere in life in order to do the things that we want to do. Because I love this. I heard this couple of weeks ago that the you can do it all had turned into some had some twisted turn into how was it, oh, you can have it all, have been twisted to you can do it all.
Hmm.
So it's like, in order to have everything, yes you can, but you also have to do all of it. So yeah, it sounded better than I just said it, but anyway.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But if we now look into your handbag or
Mhm.
pockets, then what is the one beauty product that you
Mhm.
always have there, that you don't
I
leave
was
the house without?
I thought you were gonna ask what's the one thing that's in there, and I would say poop bags because I have them everywhere. Like, that, like, that my house is, I mean, how it is with the dog. But I just took this out of the, and they are seriously like, no, this is like your product, but seriously, they're all over my house. Um, there is, we use Kuretik and Hapik, and I'm using like, wait, let me see if my handbag is empty. I didn't put anything there. There's only poop bags, but that's because I took everything out. Uh, but I definitely, this is the only thing that I've been using is Kuretik and Hapik, and my boyfriend uses them as well. My family is using them, and that's just because it's it just hydrates really well, and you can just use it like for anything basically. So that's definitely, and this is not to promote seriously. Like it's actually in my bag.
That's so nice. But then I will still ask,
Mhm.
why did you actually decided that you want to be the national beauty ambassador for MaiWistik? What was the moment when you realized, okay, this is what I can do, no problem?
Mhm.
What was your moment for that?
I think it was because like, well, we've known each other for a long time, and for me, and we do the same with home summits. Like we now like get people reaching out to us for like what is it called? It's not like it's like an influencer program. So like
Mhm.
something that is like yeah, like ambassadors basically. But if I don't trust the product or if I have not tried it myself, I will not recommend it. And you know that I've been using your products for years now. And that's like it was like the one thing that helped like my sister when she had her first baby with the baby's eczema. It wasn't even eczema, it was like some rash that he had. And my boyfriend has been using it also for his eczema. So it's for me it's a no-brainer if I know the brand and if I have like used it and tested it for years. And then when I know that the owner has integrity and transparency and I know how you make things, then it was really a no-brainer.
Oh, so nice. But I actually always make my own joke that when I started, of course, you always have a family that supports you, right? And then the
Mhm.
test groups that test the products. But I think you were like the number one first fan that actually didn't care about the jars or the stickers. You were just like, oh, I like that scrub. Bring me the scrub or bring me kuretik. I will use it, and then through the time the jars and the stickers change, but inside is still the same. But I always like to joke that Miriam is like the number one fan that I have.
That's very true. Oh, that's so sweet. I need a T-shirt with that. Can I?
Of course, I will make it happen. Yeah,
It's like the one that you have, like MaiWistik. I would have like number one fan or something.
that actually could.
Yeah, you should definitely make T-shirts like that. Yeah. No, but it's really true. It's I never recommend things that I haven't tried myself. So or unless like somebody else really knows that it's really good and I trust that person. Because like I mean I can't try everything out, right?
That's true.
But yeah.
But you mentioned that brands are reaching out. Have you
Mhm.
had this kind of experience as well that the brand says, "Oh, they are awesome," but then you actually see the label or try it, and you feel like that is not actually true what they're saying?
Yeah, there is a lot of there's a lot of like greenwashing out there, unfortunately, and there are brands that are saying that they are eco-friendly and natural. It's these things are all buzzwords.
Mhm.
There's no regulations, so you have to really be very careful of what you are buying and what you're trusting, what you're putting your trust into. So that's why I always say it's like read the labels. And you know um the brands that that they would reach out to. But even okay, I'll give you like another example. There's a website, EWG, environmental working group.org, where you can go and check the how clean the products are. And when we started HomeSum and I started like doing more research, and then every single product that we mention somewhere, I have to make sure that I go to the website and like there's several ones and like check that they are clean. Or if I'm ordering something from the US, from iHerb or Amazon or whatever, and I want to check the ingredients list that it's really clean, and you go on it and the ingredients on the website that have been submitted by a brand do not match the current label, Because there's been instances when I was like, I would buy something after checking it, and I was like, wait a second, but this was clean, and now the label says there's perfume on it. And you go back and it's like, I tried to emailing them even like, hey, like your site is not updated. It's like, how is this possible? I guess it's because they have such like huge volumes that they just
Mm.
cannot keep up with the updates, and the brands maybe just like, oh, we have the green sticker from EWG, you know. So that often happens, and it also happens in the fashion industry, unfortunately, you know, where the term greenwashing actually comes from, where they say that they are environmentally friendly, that they have like conscious line, you know, but it's all one big pile of, you know, yeah.
Yes, this greenwashing topic is really hard, and I think it's going bigger basically every day. Like
Mm,
you said, the buzzwords are everywhere, and
yeah.
we live in a society filled with information. We don't have time to focus or like look up. Some people do it, that's awesome, but most of the people don't do it. They look at the influencers and then they buy the products, right?
Hmm.
So it's not like I will do my research. I will actually rely on somebody else. So that is actually the biggest reason why we wanted to get these good ladies in front of the brand to actually say there's more. It's not only like
Yeah.
stickers on the label. It's actually
And
people behind it as well.
and if I can jump in even with something else, have you heard of the term pink washing?
Oh no, this is new.
So October is the International Breast Cancer Awareness Month,
Yeah.
right? And you can see a lot of products that put pretty little pink ribbons on their products, on their packaging. And these are products like perfumes. Um, you know, I think Nutella was on the, like Kit Kat, you know, foods that are far from healthy. And the
Mm.
scariest things are really the beauty products or personal care products, because the ingredients in them themselves can cause the illness. And, you know, oh, we donate. Well, no, just stop putting toxins into your products. That's how you can help, not by donating 1% of the sales, you know. So it's really, that's, I'm really passionate about this, and I get really pissed when I see these things.
Of course. And especially, I think the easiest sample is deodorants or sprays.
Yeah.
Like you can put this pink label on it and then say, yes, let's do good. You
Hmm.
don't do good with this product anyway. So, no.
Exactly. Deodorants and perfumes, I think, are the worst things that I don't know if the people who make them, the people behind them, actually know what they're doing, and they just don't care, or I've no idea.
Let's hope it that way. Otherwise, it would be really bad.
I don't know.
But let's continue on a slightly better tone.
Yeah, sure.
When you have time to relax or go to the nature or read a book, what is actually the number one thing that you like to do to get yourself back to the center?
Mm. So definitely, I like to walk in nature. We are lucky enough that my partner's parents have a house near the forest, so we can definitely, you know, get out there at any point. Sauna is really nice. And then you can also see that I have a really big canvas behind, which is yet to be painted, because I promised myself that I'm gonna get back to painting, because I really, really love painting. I'm not good at it. It like the paintings are, you know, it's no art, but it really helps me to clear my head and to just to come back to center. And you know, maybe like one of the things that I can also mention is that I used to go for a walk and every single time I would have like a podcast in my ears, or an audiobook at least, or something. Not music much, but something, some content that I can
Mhm.
consume. And I think a lot of people do this, and we don't realize that we are not giving ourselves a break, because walking around with and focusing on something that's in your ears, entering your brain, is not a break, but definitely not a mental break. So I would like, sometimes I do it more often now that I don't even take my phone. And I just go out for a walk with the doggy and just enjoy either my partner's company, or if I'm alone, then just like, just be there, just like walk around and like not have all that input constantly, because we get so much stimulus already, like from around everywhere. So it's
Oh
important
yeah,
to take those kind of breaks, I think.
totally agree. These simple pleasures actually are the ones that matter in the end of the day. And I really wish people do it more often too. But as much as I go to the forest, I always see runners or just everyday walking people there. Something is in the ear, music or podcast or something else. But
Mhm.
the nature has sounds, how the trees move in the wind, for example, or
And
different
squeak.
birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's totally different that in the city, right? But if you use the headphones all the time, you miss that.
Hmm. I used to, before moving to Tallinn, 5, 6 years ago, I used to live in London, and I used to have like big headphones all the time on with like music or something. Then I came here, and I continued doing that until like a few days, your headphones run out of battery, right? So um, or something happened. I don't know, they stopped working, or I don't know. I can't remember. They were not charged probably. And they stopped, and I was like, oh, I can take them off. And I was like, oh, but it's quiet here. I was like, I remember because I was walking around Patare, and I was like, huh. And that's when I realized that in London, I was using the music to block out all the other noise, which is quite a lot, like in London. But here, I was like, oh, I can just walk around, and like, there is no noise that bothers me. So yeah, that was a nice realization.
Really is. And you can always say that there is not good or bad, there's always balance, you know.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
Yeah, I have a habit of calling my friends or family, when I'm out on a walk. And that's fine.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have seen you on the calls as well.
Yeah. Just don't hold the phone next to your head. But yeah. Yeah, you see me walking around with talking to people.
But
Yeah.
we are slowly moving towards the end now.
Mm.
There's a lot more we would all like to know, of course, but how do you feel? Do you have something that you would really like to share that I didn't ask or didn't know how to ask?
Oh my gosh. Caught me off guard with that question.
Good, that's good.
Um, I think I just really like what we talked about. Like, I think the whole conversation was about like balance, right? So, I was sharing this with you even before our call. Is that someone on social media was like called out for fear mongering, and I also had like this thing is like, okay, we're doing, home summit, we are talking a lot about toxins and about like, balance and like what to do, what not to do. And do we just are we just spreading fear? Is it just fear mongering? And then I like the response of that person. She said, I don't think that sharing information on something so important is fear mongering. So, I always tell people to stay curious and just do the research for themselves, and look into things, because nobody's going to do that for you. Nobody's going to tell you what's healthy for you. Nobody's going to tell you um, how to make make yourself healthier if you don't start looking into these things yourself. And yeah, one way is to just like be curious and like read a lot, listen to podcasts, listen to conversations like this, and make your own decisions for yourself.
That's very well
That's
said.
it.
But if people now watched directly or will rewatch it, how can they send you any questions or contact you if they maybe would like to continue this conversation?
Oh, the best is on Instagram. So my that's my full name. Can we put links somewhere?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so that would be like my Instagram, or if they have questions about the environment and toxins, that would be Homesome, also on Instagram. But we also started a YouTube channel, so we're going to be there is already some videos on there, and we're creating more videos right now. So that's also a very good resource for people to go to. Yeah, so that's like at Homesome for YouTube and Instagram as well, and then my full Instagram and TikTok. I'm a TikToker now.
TikTok is good. Yes.
Yeah, TikTok is it's an interesting platform to tackle. That's for sure. But yeah,
Well said, yes.
I don't post silly videos. So I just like we just create content and share the content, share what we learn, and yeah, just make it free and available for anyone who's interested in listening and upgrading their lifestyle.
And this is actually a really easy way to do your own research, right? Watch this short video on TikTok and you
Yeah,
already know more.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's very true.
Super. I'm super
Good.
grateful that you had the time and you opened up and you
Of
shared
course.
so much valuable information. And also, I'm thanking you who you were watching live, or if you're rewatching it, thank you for being with us. This is our third video. We will have two more coming, and you can always rewatch it on YouTube. In Facebook, it might be tricky because the feed is always changing, but in YouTube, all the videos are there, and it's easy for you to get this info and reach out to Miriam. She will be super helpful and she knows a lot. I know it, and that's why I can say that. Reach out, she can help you with all these questions that you might have.
Yeah, amazing. And I'm really grateful to be here and to be able to share and just hang out. So, because this is like a hangout.
That's the main idea, to
Yeah.
actually be normal and share these tips. Everybody
Mhm.
can do them. Not all at once, of course, but slowly starting changing some things, you can already support your health so much.
Very true. Yes. Even a small change will definitely make a big difference. Because if you try to change everything at once, that's most likely not going to work.
Oh no, it's like 1 week and then you will like
Baby
say,
steps.
no, I'm
Exactly.
done.
Think baby steps. Always baby steps.
Super.
Yeah. Good.
Thank you very much and
Thank
enjoy
you.
the rest of the evening.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye.